Something that I have personally been working on, and something that doesn't often come up in therapy or in other holistic methods of healing, is the concept of neutralizing the bad, the yuck, neutralizing the evil, and what that even means. Well, let's talk about it. We spend a lot of time in therapy, and it's a really important part of the work, and that's receiving, witnessing, and validation, telling your story, having the shock factor from your therapist, having the appropriate reaction, showing up for those experiences in your history in a way that maybe caregivers or others that we love did not show up for ourselves, or for us, and how we did not maybe in the past show up for ourselves. So this is a really important part of the therapeutic process, receiving validation and empathy and compassion from another person witnessing your story. We don't often know how to transition into other stages of the therapeutic process in our healing journey. Validation can feel so good, and it's such a necessary part, and sometimes can take the better part of a year, if not longer, with a true trauma therapist, especially if you have complex PTSD. And so the next part is actually painful, in a sense, that neutralizing the negative, creating understanding inside ourselves for the person that did the most harm to us. That's fucking hard. It's important to preface this with not using this sort of process to eliminate yourself or to minimize your own voice. I also work with a lot of people with complex PTSD who have caretaking or people-pleasing patterns, and that is not what I'm talking about here. I'm not talking about showing up for another person despite yourself. I'm talking about neutralizing the negative, and what that means is coming into a deeper understanding of the other person's experience so that you're no longer in a place of victim or impact. It's kind of hard to articulate exactly what I'm talking about here. It's painful and complex. I can hear people sort of saying, how do I sympathize with the rapist? How do I sympathize with the child abuser? I am not necessarily talking about sympathizing with that person and their action. I'm certainly not giving permission. I'm supporting acceptance of the reality that these things occurred. And then I'm neutralizing the negative. And so what does that mean? Neutralizing the negative, I think of it as kind of picking one of those individuals who harmed you and hurt you in your past and working to see their limitations as a soul, as a person, their experiences on this earth as a human being, and working away from villainizing and victimizing. There are a few different ways to support yourself in this process. Again, this is not to take away from your own internal validation. This is about healing and coming to a place of compassion and understanding to continue the momentum forward. So for this, we're going to use our DBT card deck, and we're pulling from our interpersonal effectiveness skills as we settle in to do some mindfulness work. Offering breath, inhale, filling the stomach. Again, nice diaphragmatic breath to support relaxation and tuning inward. I want you to spend a moment visualizing somebody that you like, somebody that you love. Bring them into your mind's eye and work to offer them peace, offer them safety, offer them health, happiness, and freedom of suffering. Breathe in, hold for 3, and exhale. Now the hard part. Bring that person in that hurt you. Bring them into your mind's eye in whatever way they show up for you. And with a deep diaphragmatic breath, work to see them as a child. Bring them down to an age of innocence. Soothe the reactions that may be occurring internally. And again, offer peace. Offer safety. Offer health, happiness, and freedom of suffering.